This is the dragon that hunts other dragons. This is none other than Nergigante, one of Monster Hunter's fiercest elder dragons. These brutes can reach up to 75 feet or about 22.5 meters in length. Nergigante is covered in large bristly spikes that regrow as they're broken off. This elder dragon is most notable because it hunts other elder dragons. Nergigante is nature's way of balancing life out in the Monster Hunter world by eliminating animals that are way too dangerous. To do so, it has almost unequivocal strength, even giving Deviljho a run for their money. Those spikes that I mentioned earlier take some time to harden, but once they do, they become much more lethal and dangerous. Nergigante can also launch these spikes as projectiles, giving them a deceptively long range. Nergigante is one of the most aggressive, fierce, and powerful dragons in Monster Hunter, but when you hunt other dragons, you kinda need to be. This is a savage and brutal monster. This is Deviljho, one of the most infamous and dangerous creatures in the Monster Hunter world. These monstrosities could reach up to 67 feet or 20 meters in length and weigh around 20 tons. Its jaws are massive and capable of crushing bone, and it's dotted with large teeth both outside and in. And one of its favorite methods of hunting is literally just picking up their prey with its jaws and slamming it into whatever they can. When this monstrosity becomes enraged, its muscles swell to an incredible degree and begin emanating a black and red mist. It can then use this mist as a breath attack, similar to a dragon. Deviljho can become enraged quite often, and because of this, its body consumes a massive amount of energy. Because of this, Deviljho is in a constant state of near starvation, making it even angrier. It forces them to be nomadic and travel vast distances in search of food, even to the point of being cannibalistic, and they eat prey alive to waste as little time as possible replenishing their energy. An absolute savage and brutal monster. This is the legendary Tigrex, one of the most famous wyverns in all of Monster Hunter. Tigrex is a highly aggressive but also a highly adaptable animal, able to live in almost any environment. They're intelligent enough to change their hunting tactics depending on the region they're in. In snowy regions where it can't camouflage well, it tends to be an ambush predator. However, they are more than capable of being pursuit predators, able to run up to 30 miles or 50 kilometers per hour. Tigrex is also an incredibly powerful monster, able to beat monsters much larger in contests of strength. They are capable of wounding and disorienting prey with their roar, which can reach up to 130 decibels. For reference, that's about as loud as a jet engine or a gun being shot next to your face. Tigrex is a nomadic animal, always looking for a better opportunity. Because of that, aside from when they're nesting, they don't actually hold any territory, which has led to them sometimes being known as the invader monster. Regardless of what you call them, this is one of the most dangerous monsters that isn't an elder dragon, both brilliant and brutal. This is the embodiment of death and decay in the Monster Hunter universe, Valhaz. These massive elder dragons could reach 26 meters or just over 85 feet in length. Similar to deep-sea fish like viperfish, they have a set of double lower jaws. However, this dragon's real power comes from a mysterious substance known only as effluvium. The effluvium spores appear as a pollen-like miasma around the dragon. It can release effluvium like a large cloud or even spew it from its mouth like a breath attack. As the substance builds on its victims' bodies, it weakens them both physically and mentally. In the worst cases, some creatures will go insane and start attacking other members of their own species. And to make matters worse, Valhaz can take it back. Valhaz can take the effluvium back from any creature, draining its life and killing them usually in the process. This also happens to heal the dragon of any wounds it's taken. Look, I don't know which one of you ordered the zombie dragon, but I love it. This dangerous-looking fire monster is none other than Glavenus. Glavenus is widely regarded as one of the most powerful brute wyverns in Monster Hunter. This monster resembles Carnotaurus, albeit it's much larger. Glavenus can reach near 25 meters or over 80 feet in length. But size alone isn't what makes them one of the most dangerous. Glavenus's most unique trait is its sword-like tail. During battle, this tail can become red hot. In this state, the tail is capable of creating fiery explosions and even sending out waves of fire. However, if enough time passes during the fight, the bladed tail will start to cool off, allowing it to collect rocks and ores around it as it sticks into the ground. Now that may sound like a detriment, but Glavenus actually uses it to their advantage. Glavenus can constantly resharpen its tail using its mouth. It will melt down the rock and ore from the tail into a magma-like substance that can spit from its mouth, and all of that without mentioning some of their arguably more powerful variants. This is one of the most powerful brute wyverns in Monster Hunter. Meet the explosive Bracados. This monster has incredibly well-developed forelimbs as well as a large battering ram-like horn on their head. What really makes this monster unique is its use of a myxomycete, or slime mold. This slime is coated on both their arms and horns, and it's extremely explosive. Whenever Bracados attacks, its arms or horn deposit some of the slime on its victim, causing an explosion just mere moments later. When Bracados becomes enraged, its slime takes on a bright yellow color, and then you don't have a mere moment. In this state, the slime explodes the second it stops contacting the Bracados. Aside from the slime mold, Bracados is an incredibly powerful and agile monster, capable of jumping distances only seen by animals like Deviljho. And it's definitely earned its place as one of Monster Hunter's most dangerous brute wyverns. This is one of the largest monsters in Monster Hunter, the Dalmador. Dalmador is a massive serpentine elder dragon that lives high in the mountains. Those of you who've played Monster Hunter World may be more familiar with this creature than you think. The location in Monster Hunter World known as the Rotten Vale is actually made out of the corpses of 2 Dalmador. These monstrosities could reach over 1,400 feet, or around 440 meters. And this creature has more than just massive size and physical power on its side. Its tongue is coated in a substance that can paralyze hunters. It can also breathe a substance that burns just like fire, but apparently isn't actual fire. And likely the oddest and most powerful ability it has is it can summon meteors from the sky. Despite their sheer power, Dalmador doesn't venture often from their mountain range, which is why the 2 in the Vale are an oddity. Either way, Dalmador is an elder dragon of mythical proportions. This relentless monstrosity is none other than Anjanath. Anjanath is a monster that looks like what you'd get after you mix a Tyrannosaurus with a vulture. These monsters are extremely aggressive and will attack almost anything without provocation. They have a massive set of jaws, and their lower jaw is actually larger, giving them the appearance of an underbite. When Anjanath becomes enraged, it unfurls its nasal crests and dorsal sails to make itself look bigger and far more angry. While they become enraged, an organ in their throat begins to glow, allowing them to breathe fire. And in some regions, they can even become the much more dangerous Fulgur Anjanath. Aside from Fulgur Anjanath being physically stronger, it also boasts the lightning element instead of fire. This widens their range of attacks and allows them to hold their own against even other top-tier predators like Tigrex. Between both species, Anjanath has definitely earned its reputation as one of Monster Hunter's fiercest wyverns. This is the Cruel Claw, one of the most ferocious monsters out there, Odogaron. These are some of the most on-site monsters in the game, and they'll attack basically anything. With no sense of self-preservation and an excellent sense of smell, Odogaron will seek out and attack anything in its environment, even monsters larger and more powerful than itself. They can reach up to 57 feet, just over 17 meters in length, and what they lack in size they make up for in aggression and determination. One of Odogaron's most notable traits is its terrifying claws. Each foot has a total of 10 claws, 4 that are always visible and 6 that are retractable. All of their claws come with a set of jagged spikes lining them, meant to leave deep and visceral wounds on their prey. Even if the prey manages to escape, Odogaron can track them down using the scent of their blood. And it doesn't matter if you're bigger, stronger, weaker, or smaller than Odogaron, his hands are rated E for everyone. Glowing bright red and flying at high speeds, this is the Argent Comet. This is a powerful elder dragon from Monster Hunter known as Valstrax. Valstrax is unique amongst elder dragons because of its trident-shaped wings. They have holes in their chests that serve as a chest vent for taking in air. This air then combines with Valstrax's energy, allowing the dragon to expel it similar to a jet engine. This allows Valstrax to fly so fast that it breaks the sound barrier. However, when it's not flying at high speeds, it's capable of using that energy in its wings to attack. They can do so in the form of spears, projectiles, and even giant claws. Their most dangerous move may remind a couple of you of General Radahn. Valstrax will intake as much air as possible before leaping off into the horizon. Here, it becomes covered in red energy, giving it a fiery comet-like appearance, which is where it gets its name, before flying back to their opponent at over Mach 1 to deliver a devastating blow. Absolutely brilliant. This is the Lord of the Seas, a massive leviathan from Monster Hunter, Lagiacrus. These massive aquatic monsters can get up to 108 feet or around 33 meters in length. They are one of the top predators in their ecosystem, with only elder dragons above them. These leviathans spend a majority of their time in deep water, using electricity to hunt their prey. They use their long, streamlined bodies to create whirlpools around their prey, effectively trapping them and allowing them to shock them with ease. These whirlpools have even been noted to sink ships. Each of their dorsal spines houses an electrical sac at the bottom, allowing them to expel electricity through these spines. dragons. When this electricity is released, it can combine with mucus in the mouth, allowing Lagiacrus to use lightning projectiles. Stronger Lagiacrus can even use their lightning as a shield, bending it around them to surround themselves with electricity. Just because these guys prefer to stay in the water doesn't mean they aren't also incredibly dangerous on land, giving us one of this series' most intriguing monsters. This is a living natural disaster, one of the most powerful elder dragons in Monster Hunter, Alatreon. These brutes are able to use 5 different elements in their attacks: fire, water, ice, thunder, and dragon. It can use all 5 elements at the same time, but it doesn't have complete control over it, which often causes it to destroy its surroundings. Alatreon is capable of using the abilities of all the other elder dragons, but because of its instability, it can't harness that power fully. Its sharp, backward-facing scales are what produce its elemental power. It uses these massive horns to control and focus that power. Alatreon's main abilities, fire, ice, and dragon, are its most powerful and most often used. When using and transitioning between one of these 3 as its main focus, it builds up an insane amount of elemental energy, which it can then use in a massive burst. This attack, known as Eschaton Judgment, combines all 5 of their elemental powers and destroys anything nearby. A living, breathing, natural disaster. This is probably the angriest monkey you'll ever see, fictional or otherwise. This is Rajang, one of the most powerful beasts in Monster Hunter. This beast is so powerful that it regularly competes with and hunts elder dragons like Kirin. In fact, in terms of brute strength, only Nergigante is a match. Rajang regularly hunts Kirins for their horns, which grant them a powerful lightning ability. They hold so much power that even elder dragons will avoid them, but there is one animal that actively seeks Rajang, and that would be its only real competitor that's not an elder dragon, Savage Devil Joe. In terms of power and tenacity, Devil Joe can match Rajang blow for blow, but Rajang is much more intelligent and uses that to its advantage. Its higher intelligence and agility allow it to outmaneuver Devil Joe at almost every turn, and more often than not defeat the larger creature. And all that without even going into how powerful their lightning really can be. You can think of him like Monster Hunter's King Kong, but much more aggressive. This is Monster Hunter's legendary black dragon, Fatalis. At over 41 meters or 130 feet, these guys are enormous even by Monster Hunter standards. The legends of Fatalis claim it to be one of the most powerful dragons in Monster Hunter, capable of destroying entire kingdoms in a single night. Many dragons, especially in Monster Hunter, have fire abilities, but Fatalis's are unmatched. This fire is powerful enough to incinerate most enemies in a single breath. Fatalis can also emit a volatile powder from its body that can cause massive explosions. They can even emit heat from their body hot enough to melt all the metal around them. And legends say that this dragon is also sadistically smart as well. Fatalis will often take the fallen hunters that have tried to kill it and melt their armor, body, and weapons down to make more armor for themselves. Couple that with near unmatched physical strength and incredible regenerative abilities, and you have one dangerous monster.